Zuri. And this beautiful fabric, woven just for you. Praise be to Zuri, she has returned.
Zuri, you take my breath away.
This day is more than I ever dreamed.
Together, we will lead our people with love.
Forever and always, my prince.
Come out, please, I beg you. My child, what troubles you so deeply? Make me beautiful, mother of the river. Let them look at me and see something other than a curse. First, you must swear an oath. These beads, once tied, can never leave your waist. Not for bathing, not for sleep, not for any reason on this earth. In a quiet village cradled between towering baobab trees and the sun-baked hills of the savannah, there lived a young woman named Zuri. Zuri's heart was the richest thing about her. She was always the first to rise, sweeping the elders' courtyard before the roosters even called. She hauled water for them, unlike the other young women, whose skin gleamed like polished copper and whose hair was woven thick with colorful beads. Zuri was painfully thin. Her collarbones jutted out sharply, her arms thin as dry millet stalks. But what truly drew stares, what made children point and grown men snicker, was her bare scalp. Not one strand of hair had ever grown there, no matter which oils, prayers, or roots the healers tried. To the people of the village, beauty was a sign of ancestral favor, and because Zuri lacked it, they treated her like a walking misfortune. At the market, mothers yanked their children away from her stall. "Keep back," they'd murmur, loud enough for her to hear anyway. "Whatever ill luck follows her might follow you too." The young men were crueler still, lounging beneath the acacia trees, boasting about the wives they'd choose one day. They'd call out as she passed, "Zuri, I'd have asked for your hand, but where would I even rest the wedding crown? Nothing to hold on to up there?" Laughter would roar around her like a swarm of hornets. She never let them see her cry. Instead, she'd walk home to her small, quiet hut and sit beside the fire's dying coals, staring at her reflection in a bowl of water, asking the shadows the same question every night. Why is kindness never enough for them? One afternoon, the cruelty crossed a line. A group of girls trapped Zuri at the village well, circling her, chanting cruel rhymes about her thinness and her bare head. One girl, jealous of how hard Zuri worked, how the elders quietly praised her, dumped a bucket of mud straight over her. The square exploded into laughter. Something in Zuri finally cracked. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She simply turned and ran, past the farms, past the huts, straight toward the one place every child was warned never to go, the hidden river. The trees there grew dense and the air turned cool and still. Zuri didn't stop until the water reached her knees. Standing in the current, she screamed toward the sky, "Spirit of this river, if you're listening, change me. I don't care about being good anymore. I just want to be beautiful." The river responded like nothing she'd ever seen. The water rose in a slow, silent ring around her waist, and the air filled with the scent of wet earth and crushed flowers. From the current, a shape emerged, tall, glimmering, unmistakably alive. The spirit's skin shimmered like the deep sea at dusk, her hair a constant ripple of moving water. Around her throat hung pearls that glowed faintly like trapped moonlight. "Why do you weep, child of dry land?" Her voice rippled like rainfall on a drum, beautiful, but it made Zuri's chest tighten with fear. Zuri dropped to her knees in the water. "I am tired of being the village's favorite joke, tired of being called names. I have a good heart, but no one has ever cared to notice. Please, make me so beautiful that even the sun feels envy." The spirit studied her for a long moment. "Beauty is not a light burden, Zuri. It reshapes how the world sees you, but it can just as easily bury who you really are. If I grant this wish, you must protect its secret with everything you have." From the riverbed's darkest hollow, she drew a strand of beads, not glass, not clay, but a deep, pulsing red, as though a heartbeat lived inside them. These are the river's reflection beads, the spirit said. 2 rules, unbreakable. First, they never leave your waist, not to bathe, not to sleep, not ever. Second, the cord holding them must never be cut. If they touch the ground, the magic won't simply vanish, it will turn on you. Do you accept this price? Zuri didn't hesitate. I accept. I'll wear them until I die. Just make the mocking stop. Then go, the spirit whispered, already dissolving back into the current. Tie them when the moon sits highest. Tomorrow they will see someone new. That night, beneath a full moon, Zuri tied the crimson cord around her waist. Heat rushed through her like wildfire beneath the skin. Her scalp tingled, then pulled, then went strangely heavy, and she collapsed into a dreamless sleep. At dawn, she woke feeling different. Her fingers found not smooth skin, but thick, soft hair cascading past her shoulders. She rushed to her water bowl and gasped at the stranger staring back, skin like polished amber, eyes bright as scattered stars, a body full and radiant where it had once been gaunt. She was beautiful beyond anything the village had ever seen. But as she rose to celebrate, the beads pressed cold and firm against her waist, a quiet reminder that none of this belonged to her. When she stepped into the square that morning, the silence that greeted her was no longer mockery. Pots slipped from stunned hands. Men froze mid-task. "Who is this?" someone breathed. "A daughter of the stars?" "It's me," Zuri said softly. "It's Zuri." The village that once threw mud now showered her with mangoes, silk, and endless praise. And though something in her chest ached with the knowledge that they loved the magic, not her, the attention was intoxicating enough to silence the doubt. Word of her beauty reached the royal city, and eventually Prince Adeyemi, known for his wisdom and his weariness of shallow admirers, came to see her himself. The moment their eyes met, he saw more than beauty. He saw the quiet kindness she still couldn't hide. "These stories don't do you justice," he told her, bowing. "There's a light in you deeper than your face. Walk with me?" Over the following weeks, Adeyemi courted her with poetry, long conversations about his hopes for the kingdom, and a patience she'd never known from anyone. For the first time, someone was listening to her. Not the beads, not the beauty. She fell for him completely. And when he proposed, it felt like a dream too good to be real. Their wedding shook the land with music and celebration. But as the night wore on, Zuri felt the beads cinch tighter than ever against her waist. A warning she chose to ignore. In their private chamber that first night, Adeyemi reached for her wedding jewelry. "Let's set these heavy things aside," he said gently. "You're home now, no need to hide." Zuri stepped back, hand flying to her waist. "No, please, these I must keep, a vow to my ancestors. If I remove them, our marriage loses its blessing." Confused but patient, he let it go, never knowing what truly lay hidden beneath the silk. Months passed. To the kingdom, they were the perfect couple, ruling together, visiting the sick, laughing in the gardens. But behind closed doors, every night became a quiet war of excuses. Zuri lived in constant fear. If Adeyemi ever saw the beads, ever touched them, ever asked one question too many, everything could unravel. One evening, he found her staring at the moon and sat beside her. "Zuri," he said, voice heavy with hurt. "We've been married many moons, yet there's a wall between us I can't climb. You keep me at arm's length. Why do you treat me like a stranger?" She wanted so badly to tell him everything. "I'm not the woman you married. I'm a village girl who bought this face with magic." But fear won. "I've been unwell," she lied. "An old sickness. Please be patient." "I have been patient," he said, pain breaking through. "I've defended you to the elders. I've waited for you to trust me. Is it the beads? Let me replace them. Gold, rubies, anything finer. Why cling to these dark stones like your life depends on it? You mustn't touch them, she snapped, louder than intended. He stared at her, hurt curdling into something colder. I don't care about beautiful Zuri. I care about my wife. But it feels like I married a secret, not a person. If you can't be honest with me, we're only living a lie. That night, he slept at the far edge of the bed. Zuri lay awake, the beads pressing painfully into her skin, as if warning her the magic itself was growing unstable. Weeks of silence followed, heavier than any argument. One suffocating night, exhaustion pulled Zuri into a sleep so deep she didn't stir. Adeyemi lay awake beside her, watching her in the moonlight, still beautiful, still a mystery. His eyes drifted to the dark red beads visible through her thin sleeping gown. In the shadows, they no longer looked like jewelry. They looked like something coiled and waiting. She's suffering because of these, he thought. I'll free her from this superstition myself. He reached out, startled by how cold the beads felt, colder than river water at midnight. Searching for a clasp, he found none. The cord seemed fused, seamless. Determined, he took the small fruit knife from the bedside table. Once these are gone, he whispered, she won't need them to be loved. He slid the blade beneath the cord. Snap! The sound was small, like a dry branch breaking, but to Zuri it thundered like the sky splitting open. The beads didn't fall. They turned to black liquid and vanished into the floorboards. Zuri's eyes flew open, her body seized by a horrifying pull, as if her very self were being drained out through her skin. Her braids withered to ash and scattered on a sudden freezing wind. Her glowing skin folded and cracked, turning the color of dried clay. Her limbs shriveled until only skin and bone remained. Adeyemi stumbled back, the knife falling from his hand. Zuri! But the woman in the bed was gone. In her place, a hollow-eyed, hunched figure that looked centuries old. Demon! He cried, terror overtaking love. He didn't see his wife anymore, only a monster from the forbidden river. He fled the room shouting for the guards, leaving Zuri alone in the dark, shaking in a body that was no longer hers. By morning, the story had spread through every hallway. Servants peered into the chamber, recoiling from the withered creature who had once been their beloved queen. Zuri tried to call out for Adeyemi, but her voice came out as a dry rattle. She soon learned the truth. He had already fled the palace, unable to bear the sight of her. The kingdom, once so quick to adore her, now hurled stones and curses. Witch, demon, monster. Wrapped in a torn cloth, Zuri stumbled out through the gates, past the people who'd once bowed to her, and didn't stop walking until she reached the cool shadows of the forest, until she reached the river that had started it all. She knelt at the water's edge, staring at her wretched reflection, grayer, more hollow than she'd ever been, even before the magic. Spirit of the river, she wept, look what's become of me. I kept your rules as long as I could, but the truth found me anyway. My husband is gone. My village wants me dead. I'm more of a monster now than I ever was before. The water churned, and the spirit rose again, this time cold as ice. I warned you, Zuri. Magic cannot repair a heart that refuses to love itself first. You built your happiness on sand and are shocked the tide swept it away. Those beads were never really about beauty. They were a test of trust, and you chose fear over honesty. I can't go back, Zuri whispered, sinking to her knees. I can't face the mockery again, and I can't stay in this ruined body either. If I must belong somewhere, let it be the dark. Turn me into something like you, a spirit who never has to feel the sting of cruel words again. Please, take me into the deep. The spirit studied her for a long, quiet moment. To enter the river is to leave the sun behind forever, Zuri. You'll never hear a human voice again. You'll be nothing but a shadow beneath the current. I don't care, Zuri said. The sun only ever showed me my flaws. Let the water hide me instead. The spirit extended a hand made of moving water. As Zuri took it, her tattered clothes fell away, her body dissolving into a fine silver mist. She stepped into the river's deep, silent center and didn't sink. She simply became part of it, absorbed into the pulse of the current itself. Even now, villagers tell of the beautiful girl who vanished into the hidden river. They say that if you sit quietly at its banks at dusk, you might catch a glimpse of a thin, silver shadow gliding just beneath the surface. Zuri, the girl who traded her soul for a beauty that was never built to last, now safe in the one place no one can ever mock her again. If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe for more folk tales.